Good morning, everybody. It is the first Sunday in December, if you can believe that. Um, and it's floss tube time. Yay! Um, okay, so we've got a lot to talk about today, I think, because I've got a pretty decent amount of haul, or at least what I would consider a fairly decent amount of haul. Um, I have a huge colossal finish. Um, I have some whip updates. I have two new starts. Um, One anticipated, one unanticipated. I did not end up doing December goals, but we'll talk about that in a second. We of course have the wonderful Q&A um, that I so enjoy doing, and I hope you do as well. Um, there is one topic that I'm going to briefly touch on, um, and for this week, that's all I'm going to say about it, because I feel the company needs an opportunity to respond before we start dissecting and parsing things and making what's the phrase I want to use? Before we start, before it gets out of hand, I guess is probably the best way of putting it. As some of you probably saw, Stitching in Color posted about discovering the Weeks Dye Works color Confederate Gray, which caught her by surprise, upset her greatly. She is a person of color. And so I sent an email to Weeks Dye Works about it. That triggered a whole lot of people sending a bunch of emails. On Friday, because we had had no response, I did call Weeks Dye Works. I was told by whoever I spoke to there, she didn't give a name. But I was told that the owner was aware of the emails, had seen the emails, and was out of town and would be responding when they were back in town. So presumably that means sometime early this week we should have some sort of response from the company. It's going to be interesting to see just exactly what their response is. Hopefully they will change the name, because that's a fairly easy change to make. And my hat has to go, if I was wearing a hat, here. My tiara, ha ha ha, is off to Zweigert for having had a fabric color named Confederate Gray, and this summer when the Black Lives Movement really tipped off, they went and renamed it to Mystic Gray, just preemptively, and I think that's really, really awesome. When I reached out to them, apparently U.S. distributors were notified. Not all of them notified their shops. But when I reached out to Zweigert, they said that they'd made the change and they would never want to see someone discriminated by or feel discriminated by from one of their color names, which I think is really, really awesome, especially considering they're a German company. So they're not even U.S. based, and they still were just right on top of that. So, tiara off to Zweigert, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens with the weeks. But I did at least want to touch on that. There has been some backlash against certain people in the community for being for bullying and harassing, but it was me that really started it off. So, anyhow, we're waiting on YouTube to finish loading its page so that I can get our fabulous Q&A. Lovely, come on. I don't have my iPad with me this morning, so I can't just go pull it. Okay, well, we'll do the stash, the haul first. So first, I got my first project bag from Garon Totten Bags. It was a Hanukkah bag, because I thought it was so cool that there was a Hanukkah-themed project bag. It came super fast. I ordered it Friday and it was here Monday. Like, I'm blown away by that. It's got a nice little Velcro enclosure, nice matching or coordinating fabric on the inside. And it even has a little, like, tag on it so you can put the pattern name, the designer, and the start date on it, which I thought was kind of cool. But it arrived very quickly. It's really nicely made. I don't know how they managed to get all these done when they're still stitching and all those other things. So hats off to them, or tiaras off to them. I think that's going to be my thing now, apparently. Let's see, then I finally used, I had a Color and Cotton gift card that I hadn't used. So I ordered a fat quarter of Mojito. And this is Cashel, so it's 28 count linen. And it's a little more blue than it's showing up here, but I thought it was a really pretty color. And it was one of her ready to dyes. And then it came with 4 yards of 2 Color and Cotton flosses. I really do like her stuff a lot. All right. Then I got these. So I ordered, Top Knot Stitcher was having a sale. So I ordered, because I needed another Christmas minder for the Frosted Pumpkins winter, because I wanted a Christmas one for it. I ordered this really cute Christmas tree. And then I ordered this, which a couple of people have shown off, and I thought was really cool. It's a DIY needle minder kit. And it comes in what kind of looks like an Altoids box. It contains 10 magnets, 1 mini tube of E6000, and a few crafty items to get yourself started. So, you've got your magnets. So, and there's 10 of them, a front one and a back one. 2 bigger, 3 smaller. And it tells you about them. And then you get your little E6000. Used in a well-ventilated area is what I am told. Then a little guide that tells you how to do it. And then a little note from her. And then the actual minder parts themselves. So, mine came with, and I believe it does vary from bag to bag, a little blue wooden fox. Isn't he cute? An apple tree, also wooden. This one was a button at one point. A cute little panda bear. A sort of pearlescent mermaid button. And a sparkly green rose, which I don't think it's sparkling too well on here, but it's sparkly. So, that's what all came in it. So this is going to be fun one of those days when I'm home and want to amuse myself in some way. But yeah, so that was a cute little awesome purchase. So if you've ever wanted to make needle minders, I would highly recommend it so far. So we'll see how it goes when I actually decide to make one. Or probably all 5 at once, because that's how I roll, yo. All right. So the YouTube is still loading. Swell, YouTube. Swell. All right, I'm going to just go grab my iPad. I'll be right back. And we are back. Um, do. Let's see. Okay. All right. So we're just going to go off the iPad. Weaving Rainbow asks, have I seen Oz by Ori TM? Yes, I actually finished stitching that earlier this year. Was it last year? God, the years have just run together. I did it recently. So yes, I have. It was a lot of fun. I also, it occurred to me the other day, one of those sort of shower thought moments, that I would really love to see Autumn Lane Stitchery do a Glinda, because I think that would be awesome. They've done enough of the Wicked Witches out there that I would like to see their take on Glinda. Joanne P. asks, do you have an advent calendar? The answer is no. I really love advent calendars, but I never actually get one. Largely because I do one of two things. Either I get really impatient and I open them all up, especially if candy's involved, or I forget about it and like 3 days go by, and then I haven't done anything. Well, no, I take it back. I do actually have a countdown that I haven't started up this year. I need to. It's a snowman and his carrot nose revolves to get you to the number of days till Christmas. But I need to start doing that. I do have one. I'd completely forgotten about him, and he's sitting right above the TV where I can see him too. Yes. And she also asks, if I open an LNS coffee shop, would there be room for a bookshop corner too? I would actually, if I were going to do it, I would do sort of that free library situation where people can bring in books they no longer want, and if they see a book that interests them, they can just take it. Hello to asked, what are my 2021 project plans? That will come towards the end of the, closer to the end of the year. I don't always plan out the year. A lot of times I don't plan out the year, but I'll at least let you know what my New Year, New Start will be. She also asks, would you stitch a sampler or Quaker? I don't recall you stitching any, though I do watch other floss tubers and get confused. I actually do. There's one that's a sampler that's in my current rotation. I've had several that I've worked on and several Quakers as well. Quaker Oz, for instance. So I've got several that are Quaker or Quaker-esque. The Alforce Atlantis is kind of a Quaker. Um, Okay, so from Holly, for the person who asked last week about 2021 stitch alongs, magicalquiltsblogspot.com has hers listed for next year, as well as having all her older ones available for download. Linens and Threads, I believe, is about to announce theirs. The Pumpkins will be announcing theirs soon. For those that have been curious, Shannon Christine did finally post the fairy tale chart on her site. There are some differences. Hers is what was originally sent before the magazine requested some redesigns, including Gretel is not in there. It's looks like it's essentially supposed to be like Morgana Le Fay. But there's definitely no Gretel, and there's I'm guessing some simplified color options. It looked like the beady border, the white sort of pearly border, was a different color. May even have been beads. So, but that is available now. Um, Almond M&Ms, since you just started watching 6 days ago and you decided to binge your way through, congratulations on catching up, I hope. Um, we're almost into my 7th year of floss tube. I officially will have had more floss tube seasons than Community. 6 seasons and a movie. Robin B asks, have you participated in WhipGo before? My answer is no. I'm still deciding if I'm going to do it this year or not. I've seen several people that did like more generic boards. And if I do one, it's going to be one of the more generic boards. It's like work on a project that's get a project to 50% done. Finish a project that's almost done. Things like that. Um, And then she also asks, have I done Mania or Christmas in July? I've never done Christmas in July, but I have done Mania. Um, Considering I kind of co-created it, yes, I have done it. Lisa O asks, what is the best fiber to stitch a fluffy Santa Claus beard? You could either go with Whisper from Rainbow Gallery or Fuzzy Stuff from Rainbow Gallery. I find Fuzzy Stuff easier to work with, but it does have a little bit of a sparkle to it where Whisper doesn't. All right, and that is the Q&A for this week. Ba-doo. I'm going to go ahead and have that ready because I'm going to need that shortly. Okay, so at work this week, I was off Monday, Tuesday, so I only had 3 stitching days at lunch. I worked on the border of Count Your Blessings, so I got all the way across the bottom and I'm started up the top. Uh, I don't know for sure if I'll finish this corner of the border this week, but I think I probably will. Um, in which case, then I think I'll probably go ahead and slide over and start working on the grass over here, because that's kind of a tedious bit. Um, or I may work more on border. We'll see. Um, we'll see. That's from Annie B's Folk Art, and it was a fabric of the month from Ship's Manor that I'm using for the fabric. All right, then my new start was Spring Garden Club from the Frosted Pumpkin. I'm doing it on Kiwi from Fiber on a Whim. And I didn't quite meet the goal I'd had for this month on it, but I'll come back to it probably a little bit later. My goal was I wanted to finish the greenhouse, and I didn't quite. The greenhouse itself is done, but I'm adding some half stitches in 747 to to fill in the background to make it look like glass, and then I'm going to use the Easter braid blending filament over it kind of sporadically to kind of give the impression of glass. So that's what IB's working on with that. I've pulled all sorts of fun colors for it too. All right. Then started and finished part 1 of the Christmas Carol stitch along from Stitching Book Club. I'm doing this on Dryad's Saddle from Fortnite Fabrics, and I'm doing it because I'm insane. I'm doing it all in metallic with beads. So here is part 1. Get that in a little closer so maybe you can see how shiny it is. It's super shiny in person. The beads are red Toho beads called Ruby. I used Krynix Colonial Red for the red. I used Krynix are the golds as well. So Gold High Luster, Chromo Gold, and Antique Gold. And then the greens are Rainbow Gallery Sea Green, Lighter Green, and Dark Green. It may also be Leader Green. I'm not entirely sure. It's kind of an odd name. Um, it may also have been Light Green, and I just randomly put an R on the end when I was making my note. But it's super pretty, and I really love it. So, and it's not much bigger than this, so I should have started it up much higher on this fabric, but that's okay. It'll still give me some small pieces on either side for some smaller things, because that's really one of my goals for next year, is to do some smalls. And then after I finished that, I started in on Dark Queen of the Sea's face. I got a good portion of her face done last night, so I'll definitely finish the face, and I'm going to start in on the hair. I chose the purple face, and I went back and forth, and G and I discussed it, and I'm going to do the purple hair. I really liked the idea of the gray, but I think the purple is going to look is going to make me happier in the long run. And ultimately, and I sort of mentioned this when I was asking Aaron about the colors, I don't want to throw the color balance off. Aaron, like Brooke of Brooke's Books, the two of them have such a command of color that I'm real hesitant to make any big changes. Because they really do have such a great command of color and great command of shading that I wouldn't want to do something that would make it look not great in the long run. And kind of case in point, when you're working on it, her skin looks like when it's up close, it looks sort of odd. But then when you're back from it, the shading is perfect on it. It looks beautiful, it looks natural, and it's really, really impressive what he's done. So I just need to start leaving this on, and so that I can be like, my tiara's off. Now my tiara's back on. All right, so are you ready for the big finish? This was what I did Sunday. It did take two packages, not the entire second package, thankfully, but Fairy Tale Princesses is done. So one package took me to about here. So I started in this corner. It got me somewhere around in here. So I was really grateful to see. I was getting a little nervous. It's amazing how many beads are actually in that package, though. But there it is, all done. Yay! So I'm quite pleased. And it's one of those that the beads look much better at a distance than they do up close. So yeah, so that was a big finish. And I am very happy with that. Hooey. All right. Well, that, I believe, is kind of it for me this week. I hope everyone has a great week. I didn't ask how anybody is. I'm so sorry about that. How was y'all's week? Awesome. Oh, my mug and my shirt match. Huh. Anyhow, I will see you all same bat time, same bat channel next week. I hope everyone has a great week. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.